Hey guys, welcome to Appy Hour. This is the show where we make your data talk. I'm here with Joe, Josh, and Cody, and we've got a special for you today. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and have fun. What are you guys drinking today?
Who's first?
I'll do Joe because you're in my corner.
I started earlier with, I always like this because it just gets green screen up, but the LaCroix. But actually somebody had recommended something to me, so I have an SME who, for the first time, is actually kind of legitimately a sponsor because they're a partner of ours. So SME gave me this Relax, we have your can covered beer koozie, and it's a Wicked Weed perennial ale. I think this might be the first time I had actual beer, and our CEO is watching, I think. So hi, Martin. It's Appy Hour.
That's
fine.
What I have. It's Appy Hour.
It's a light. There's no alcohol in this beer. Next.
Cody, you're in my bottom right. Yes.
Yeah.
Cody.
So I'm very simple today. I just have a lime sparkling water that actually is Astrato formatted at the moment.
We do have a Vizlib drink.
Yes. So maybe this.
Maybe it's time for Astrato.
Astrato drink.
Vizlib beer. Oh yes. And then Josh, what do you have?
I won't talk about what's in my stein. That's for later. But I am drinking and hydrating with Fiji, the best water on the planet.
Not sponsored.
Jane, what do you? I know you have some feelings about Fiji.
Yeah, I don't love Fiji or bottled water. So
I thought actually your reaction was going to be worse than that, because I remember you seeing like a picture of the London office in a Fiji bottle on somebody's desk,
and I was like,
"Oh, we're going to change that."
No, I saw the fridge, and it was all just Fiji bottles, and I was like, And then they were like, "Yeah, we have a water fountain." I was like, "Do you guys have a water fountain?"
I don't know if they do now. We have to get over to the office at some point. Maybe we can ask Martin. He can write in. Did they ever address the Fiji bottle issues? Which is fine. Yeah, well, I see a few people streaming in.
That's the biggest issue.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. I'm going to remove Jane and add her back in. Let's see. She'll come back. There we go.
Is it okay?
I'll set it up while you work on your connection. Yeah, it's fine. So we're going to actually do a little bit different. On Appy Hour, usually we are taking apart apps, building new stuff. This one, we had a really big unveiling last week of a brand new product, actually a whole new direction for some of our work at Vizlib, and that was with Astrato. Kind of see some of our branding and logos here. It's not a new company, as far as I know, because we all still work at Vizlib and work with Astrato. But we have some distinctive branding and things around it because it's a very big product for us. So CEO Martin and Alex Storr, who is oh man, Josh, that background's going to make me sick. They had launched, the preview of Astrato. So we're going to watch some of that video. Jane hasn't seen it, as far as I know. I watched, but also I was answering questions in the background. So there's things that I probably did catch. Josh, you were on it. You had your day off. I don't know how you got that, but you did watch it.
Yeah, I streamed it on my day off.
Okay.
Some say I'm a workaholic, but that's okay.
Yeah. And then Cody, you were live watching it too.
Yep.
So some of it, but it's still very fresh. And cat's out of the bag. We've been working on this for a little while, right? So we've seen the product and have played around with it, but there were some new things shared. So I thought it'd be great if we use this opportunity to go through and capture our feedback on it and what we really liked, and see what others also really liked about Astrato and their requests for things. Sound good?
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
Awesome.
Perfect.
Let's go.
All right. Let me know if you can't hear the audio.
Today with me, I have Martin, myself, and Alexander Tor. We're very, very excited to be speaking to you about Astrato, our newest and freshest product for the first time outside of the world of Click. Here I am. Hope you can see me straight out from London. And with this, I'll get started. Get excited.
We're gonna get
Ladies and
t-shirts
gentlemen,
straight out of
non-binaries,
London.
utmost pride and sincerity that I present this unveiling as a living testament and recollection of history in the making during our generation. Astrato, the big unveiling.
I didn't know
agenda
Martin
today
had
is going to be
the
interesting. It's going to be a
zooming
mix
background
between
too.
stories, ambition,
Oh, he does. You're
vision,
right.
and product demos. So we're going to start with an introduction to give you a little bit of a history where we're coming from, a product demo, live in action. Why now? Why is Astrato the right thing from Alex tour? And then we're going to close up with roadmap. And I think by that time, you'll have a lot of questions that you'll be firing off to us.
So we're not going to watch the whole thing. I hope people realize that. We're going to jump around a bit. I think there's some intro setup stuff, and this positions it really well, I think. But we'll see if any questions have come in yet, just in case. Now we got people watching on a variety of different areas. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, viewers there on Twitch, Facebook, and also LinkedIn. I believe it's on my LinkedIn page, so it should be. But I figured we could jump to, there's a little bit about who we are. Even this slide is now out of date as of Thursday. We hit 1,000 customers, so we're into quadruple digits. Yeah. Jane, you've been out, right? So
I know.
I'm not even sure you caught that. You want to tell people where you're calling in from now? We totally glossed over that.
Yeah, there's a reason why my internet's bad. It's because I'm using French internet because I'm in Paris.
That's a jab.
I thought it was really good at the first part, and now you just totally trashed their entire backbone. But are we going to have to place a map on the or a flag on the map now? Do we have a Vizlib office in Paris, or are you it?
I'm it, but yeah, we can make this into an office. You guys can all squeeze in here.
That'd be great. I mean, to come visit Paris, I don't know about squeezing in your, as you said, tiny apartment. But we'll see. Does anybody know our official employee count too? Isn't this number off?
It is.
I thought it was like 150-ish. Every week, right? Something new starts, and we say, "Don't get used to it. You're going to be off the page for the new starters within a week."
Yeah.
And it's coming in fast, so we'll get to it. But let's jump back here. Let's hear how Martin talks about now what is our largest venture to date with Astrato.
Vizlib and why Astrato. So most of you, and for those who have been familiar with our extensions on top of Click, we have been working on this for a very long time, but our ambition has always been bigger and greater, and to serve our customers in the best possible way, and not only serve our customers, but also as many customers as we possibly can. So with this, we do not sit comfortable where we are, but we will evolve, and we are taking off, and we are evolving. And for the very first time in our history of our organization, we are now offering a product outside of Click on top of Snowflake. So a bit of background with this, we have mastered the data analytics and visualization game on top of Click. We have built over 33 visualizations components that elevate and increase the capabilities of native Click, but also elevate the analytics experience of your everyday user and customer. From visualizations to interactions to self-service reporting.
Google
and more importantly, also lately, right back.
We haven't even gotten into Astrato yet, I think.
Without leaving your data analytics.
This is just the Click,
effectively the analytics
Click side right now.
That very successful experience we want to take now, and we have evolved into a standalone product that sits in the cloud, and ultimately will be able to serve all customers that are using Snowflake as a data storage. So we're basically replicating the experience and the visualization success on Click, and we are now expanding, and we're going to new customers, to customers who don't have Click, to new users and new use cases. So the story is we're repeating our success, and we're expanding, and we're very, very excited about that. So a bit of a glance of what Vizlib does. We do dashboards, analytics, world-class.
Let's talk about this. There's things on here that I have familiar apps. Maybe some of them are mine. There's some other ones. Jane, you have one. Ooh, this is amazing stuff. Thank you, the Click guy. Jane, you have that like revenue cycle one in the top corner. I know I worked on the Kobe one. Kobe. It's not Kobe beef. Kobe. Oh my
Kobe
gosh.
beef.
I'm
Wow.
sorry. I'm gonna catch flack for that. That was actually a really fun app and it pushed push click pretty far with the scattered plot. Haven't tried it in Astrato. We just got to get the data over there. But yeah, that's fun. We Martin's highlighting stuff that we all have a pretty good hand in, which is kind of cool. Let's so just watching for questions come in. Oh no. Back here.
Consume and interact with your everyday citizen developed
Let's go
a
here.
new product, the biggest product to date within our Vizlib history, Astrato, that sits in the cloud, is based on SQL, and will basically visualize and report data that comes directly from Snowflake. Now, before I
This is the first time I think any of us had seen this slide too at that meeting. Jane, do you have any feedback on this? Like, what's this look like to you?
Well, it looks like Astrato can connect directly to Snowflake, and I know people are probably thinking, can't Click also connect to Snowflake? And yes, it can, but you do need to use an API, so it's easier with Astrato. And you can also connect to Google Sheets, which I personally like to use. Just it's easier to, get things in, and then you can easily make an app very quickly. And Jake G has a question: is Astrato completely separate from ClickSense?
Yes, it is. Yes. Yep, this is new territory for us. Side note, like 2 years ago, I think I jokingly April Fools, it was on April Fool's Day, announced that Vizlib was working with Tableau, and I received a lot of flack for that one. Totally a joke, maybe in poor taste. I had fun making it, and all of my visualizations were just the Tableau spinner. That's all we had done. And so it was really just like, but some people were like, wow, I can't believe you guys are expanding out. And so this is unique in that we're not just extending a different BI tool. We're doing our own thing here on top of Snowflake, on top of big data sources direct. So I think that's the big difference here. We're not, going to bat with Microsoft or Tableau. We're doing our own thing.
That brings us to our next question, and it's directed to you, Joe.
Oh.
It's from Steven.
From Steven.
What propose? I'm guessing that's purpose Astrato makes for reports and exporting data?
Reporting and exporting data. As a dashboard developer, that's my least favorite thing to do, because it usually means we failed on getting people to stay in the application, right? So, but standard reporting, exporting stuff to do other work is still going to be commonplace. I think when you get into the big data territories like Snowflake, they probably turn off the ability to export data because they want to keep you in that platform. Your company does, because of security governance purposes. So I think we'll be able to do some of that stuff, but I think it will be role-based, because there will be some organizations, government, healthcare, that just say, no, you cannot export. You have to stay in here. We have to be able to audit, manage what you're doing. But it's certainly a consideration. Reporting is not going away by any means. I don't know if you guys have any other. We get questions about reporting regularly, and it's like, do you support it? And we just say yes, but we don't actively build like a report building tool. It's not where we think a lot of the action lives. Yeah, could be a feature request though. Yeah, good stuff. Let's skip a little bit here.
I go and excite cases, a new solution that goes beyond Click on different customers, different user bases, and
This, I
more
think, is
importantly,
key.
entirely different use cases. So this is not a race. This is not a race. This is generally us expanding and creating value to our existing and our future customer base. Second of all, if you are a very delighted and happy Vizlib customer, you have nothing to worry about. We are a very heavily invested R&D company, a product company. Our investment in R&D is big and it will remain big, be it on Click or be it on Astrato. We have a benefit that we can fund both of them.
I actually talk about this a lot too. Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe Josh has something to say because you work in customer success. Are they worried that we're focusing too much in Astrato? Are customers worried we're focusing too much in Astrato?
Not at all, because we're not. We didn't split our business by any mean. We're investing more into Astrato as it goes and goes and goes, but as it sits, our Click business isn't going anywhere. That's what we all do, and we bleed green. We all love it. That's where we're from, so there's no way we're going to let that one fall. But Astrato is a giant leap into an unknown territory, so we're investing into it. It's a great space. So I haven't heard any major concerns that we're jumping ship or anything like that, because we're not. Absolutely not. And I think straight from Martin himself, we're not doing that. That's not our plan.
Yeah. Cody, what about you? I know, so we build apps. Do you think your time is split between Click and Astrato? What do you think the time split is for you?
So early on, when I first joined a few months ago, it was still early. So I feel like what Astrato looked like 3 months ago compared to now, even like 2 weeks ago compared to now, it's always evolving, which is awesome. So my time split now is becoming more 50-50, as opposed to developing apps and then in Click and then workbooks in Astrato.
So my memory's not great. Did I tell you when we were interviewing you that you'd be working on some other product called Astrato?
You didn't tell me. You showed me your shirt and kind of just like, by the way, I'll leave you with this, and just stood up. And then
Mic drop. Bye. Yeah.
What is this? Okay, yeah. We were so secretive, and then I found out there were other people just like straight up telling people, oh yeah, we're working on this thing. It works with Snowflake. And I was like, you can't tell people. And they're like, what? It's like, I thought we signed NDAs about this stuff. I didn't sign anything. And I was like, I think you might have. You just don't remember. But we're good now. It's out, as I said. So this is getting into the meat of it. Like, what does it do differently? I think this is the question people have. If we're so good in what we do with Click, and the visualizations and things they have there, why would we go off and try something a little different?
But the one thing that Astrato will do differently, not just in Click, but any other analytics and visualization tool on the market, is that we play the data where it lives. In technical terms, live query or die query. Now, what does this mean and why? It's undeniable. Data.
Muted.
Oh, no. Live query or die query? I think that's what he said.
Live query or die?
Yeah, what's that? What's a live query mean to you, Jane?
To me, it's just you get to make queries live. You don't need to reload data.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, if you need to reload, that's dead data. No good, no good. That's what I'm getting.
So in that sense, I think that's where my mind goes to different use cases that we really haven't been able to touch before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit with like write back, because when we're doing write back and Click, there's a little bit of a real time, like I can make an update and then somebody else can see that. I marked an account as risky or something like that.
Yeah.
But can never go back and get all of the data. Well, we could. We just have to constantly be reloading everything. And there's limits on that with huge data sets.
And data sets that change like daily or even quicker. Yeah.
Quicker, right?
It'd be a pain to just every day reload that data to have it live.
Like Cody, you came from a manufacturing background, right? Did you have sensor data and things like that?
Yeah, so we had a lot of machine sensor data. We had these big hydraulic presses where our click, I mean, we're talking, millions of rows in minutes because the machine center data is just so robust. So, I mean, you're talking if the app reloaded every 6 hours and you realize that there was a machine down or a sensor down 4 hours ago, there's not much you can do about it now. I mean, it's 4 hours of lost time. So this is something had Astrato existed, a year or two ago. Perfect use case.
Yeah, that was stuff that I would just like gloss over and think, okay, the BI tools that I've used can't do that. They're getting closer to it. There's ways of fetching the data faster and faster. But to just have this direct connection to it and be able to perform, because there's ways to direct connect to SQL that's been around. But I think the Snowflake move is really, really interesting because it is so much faster than anything else. And I think that's what he gets to here. Kind of skip through these like key points of why a lot of people are using cloud data now. We talked about this at one point too, with that reporting thing, right? If you're doing extracts, reports, otherwise, you're losing all the security and governance you have around it. Somebody emails your list of clients, you're monitoring emails at that point versus they're analyzing it in the BI tool where you have a lot of control over it. So,
I don't know if he, sorry. I don't know if he talks about this later, but yeah, connecting directly to Snowflake also makes filtering faster. I found if you have a large data set, you press the filter, it's immediate, boom. All the filters that you want to filter on kind of show up.
Right. It's not needing to figure out all those things. It's just right there in the data.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. I hadn't noticed that. As we're filtering through it, and maybe we'll show it today too. We'll definitely have the demos that Martin does. And somebody called him out actually earlier this week and was like, I don't know if what you showed was a video of your demo, but it looked pretty good. It was really fast. And he's like, I did it live. There was nothing. This was not a recorded thing. And so he gets to it here. This is actually, I think, out of all the slides, it's my favorite one. I don't know who that is. It looks kind of dangerous on a slippery rock. It's not Martin. The hair is.
So he went out the day before to get this picture.
If this were a Vizlib employee, who would it be?
Luke.
I was gonna say the other Martin.
Martin Kierkegaard?
Yeah.
I don't know if I said his last name right.
Because Sweden has those. They have landscapes, right?
And fjords and waterfalls and things like that.
Maybe not so much greenery. I take that back.
It looks rough wherever it's at. But it's cool. It's a cool ass slide. So that's the main thing. I think I've been seeing this play the data where it lives, which it's growing on me because we're so used to asking the question, like, where is that data from? How many translations did it get to the dashboard? And that's like a recurring theme I'm starting to see here as well. Skip through this. Let's see. I think this is where.
So with this, I'll move over and I will
show you demo it.
What we do best: the product live in action. I'm showing you a dashboard that has been created directly in Astrato on top of Snowflake. But you know what? No. Our ambition and our success is about getting started easily. So I'm going to show you actually how easy it is to create something like this from scratch. So it all starts, your journey in Astrato starts with a tenant that you log into. And this is hosted on our side. You don't have to host Astrato. We are hosting it. You can log in with any kind of your social providers or even your enterprise authentication providers such as SAML, single sign-on, Okta. All of those are supported because not just they are secure, but they also enable one-click login. That's all it takes. And I'm directly in the system, which is my Astrato demo tenant. Sorry, I didn't click it. So once I land in my Astrato demo tenant, you will see it's actually very, very simple. We've done this on purpose. We don't want to introduce a new specific Astrato landing page. You want to introduce familiarity. If you come from another tool, you can use this as well because nobody will only be using one tool. so familiarity is a key thing. You see our workbooks, which are neatly organized here in one single view. You can organize them into folders if you want to segregate the security or apply authorization. But what's important here is the zero to hero experience. So let me show you. So it all starts with new data. You click here, and you have a couple of data sources to choose from. I know I'm talking about Snowflake, but also Google Sheet is something we've enabled because
There you go,
it enables
Jane.
that fast prototyping, that quickly adding the data to a spreadsheet to quickly visualize something. That is possible as well. But in this example, Snowflake is where all the power lies. So I'm going to show you that part. For those of you who have used Snowflake before, this is a familiar screen. Nothing crazy. It's exactly the same way you would log in from any other system that uses Snowflake. Have your credentials, add your account URL, but that's as much as it is. You test the connection, and we are live. We can now.
That experience right there of just connecting to something, putting in the credentials is pretty fast. And you're going to see, I think, how we can browse the stuff. Had to do this in other BI tools and not just stand it up, but you usually have to install like a specific connector
It
to get to
beats
Snowflake.
REST connectors. I think I said
my
APIs earlier, but I meant REST connectors. Yeah, it beats making one of those.
Yes, you put in these common things, and a few of us have gone through the Snowflake training now. So while I don't have my URL memorized, I can recognize what's going on with it because I use it in a couple different spots. So as long as you use Snowflake, you can do that really quick. Interesting. Yorick's online. It's late. Welcome, buddy. Can you combine and import the sheets and Snowflake? Actually, I think this was a question that came in towards the end, and we're exploring how that might work. This is not a combine across different data sources type of use case that we're looking at. Generally, we're finding people that use Snowflake want to put everything in the Snowflake data warehouse. There's different databases and things, and we're looking at that, how you can connect across. But I don't know. I haven't tried this, so I can't say for one if we can do this right now. Cody, Jane, Josh?
I have not tried it either. That is a good question.
Tricky question, Yorick.
I know, coming at us.
He didn't even show how to connect fully to the data yet, and you're already throwing out multiple database stuff.
I'll browse all my databases in my tenant.
Let's skip
demo
through.
live.
He's created a
Snowflake
connection.
System, and I cannot.
Maybe I'll talk over this. Pretty standard stuff, right? We're connecting, grabbing tables, browsing the data. Actually, this was the fun part. That little thing that he just did right there, where he slid it across, is something that I've wanted for a long time in many different BI tools, and that is the names of tables are so long, they often get chopped off. So we took and allow you to make a slider so you can see more of the names of things. It's like this small stuff that we're trying to add in that I think is as boring as data editing can be. It's kind of fun.
No, because you'll have tables with the same name. It starts with the same thing. I don't know, school, country, blah, blah, before it gets the first name. So maybe, or the calendars, it all starts the same. And then,
you just see 3 dots and you're like, but what one is it? And you have to hover over to see what the name of it is.
Or you just try all of them. And you're like, yes. Is that it? Is that it? Nope.
So pretty standard stuff. I feel like he's connecting to the data. Let's see here. He's got some data points. Joins. So this is one. I'll just zoom in there. Yes, of course, we're going to allow you to do joins. So you don't have to have everything in a data mart. Although it's Snowflake's always going to perform, every data source is going to perform better if you pre-aggregated the data or moved it into a certain format. But we know not everything is going to be in one database or one table. So yeah, we're going to have joins and allow you to visually map these things. I think he showed maybe a preview of it, but there's some work here on making this really easy to understand and visually map things. Enthusiasm. Yorick. Let's see, another question came in. So if somebody makes a change in the data in Snowflake, the app will get auto updated.
Yes.
Yeah, the queries are live. So like Jane's thing, if it's a filter and you add now a new value somehow pops in, it will be in the filter. If data updates from your sensors, like Cody's thing, like we're always getting the latest. There's a little nuance there, and Josh has caught me on this before. Like, is it a real-time dashboard where it's just up on a warehouse, board, and we're just seeing numbers tick up and the charts are moving automatically? We've talked about that, but you have to think too, then it's constantly firing queries, and you may not want that. It may not be necessary for one. So what if we trigger the data or have these different ways? But yeah, if some new data shows up, it's there as you're making your next. We talk about asking questions, but it's really clicking on things. You're going to have the most up-to-date data and not have to wait for like, oh, well, this gets reloaded every 2 hours. So I'm sitting on sales data. I don't really know if we've, closed that deal yet. Here, it's just that number is always going to be the most accurate as soon as you start using it. Did I do that right, Josh? You've had this question come up, I think, too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that when you're talking about a live query, it's fast. Because we're on top of Snowflake and utilizing that side, it's almost instant. And we have a couple examples. I think even in here, didn't he show the 8 billion row one? I think that was so. In this one.
Yeah,
at some point.
It's a little bit later.
But that notion of live query, the moment you make a filter, like Jane said, you're getting that information. So I think that's the distinctive point there, is that it's instantaneous live data, in the sense that if there is a change somewhere else and you query on it, you're getting that directly into your visualization through Astrato.
Got it. Nice. Those are the use cases too. Manufacturing. I don't know why that bubbles at the top for me, but I always think about, those big screens they have in a warehouse type of thing.
Healthcare too.
Healthcare is a good one. Emergency rooms.
Wait times.
Wait times.
Sat in the in the waiting room, and you're like, your doctor will see you in 5 minutes, and you're like, it says hasn't refreshed for 15 minutes, and you're like, refresh it. Come on, I want to know. Am I next?
I can see like retail, like how many clothes they've sold, or like what's going out of stock.
Yeah, that's actually big. In my master's class a couple months ago, they talked about RFIDs with digital inventory and stuff like that. So that'd be actually really cool. Real time updating.
Yeah, inventory shortage.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. Chipotle ran out of like guacamole.
That's big right now.
What is guacamole or Chipotle?
They ran out of the guac.
No, what's big? The guac or the Chipotle?
Oh, what's big? I mean, Chipotle just happens to be like one of the closest fast food Mexican restaurants near me. So when they run out of guac, it's an issue.
And I meant more or less places running out of things, because I've gone to many restaurants where it's like, they're out of this, they're out of that. And it's like, we haven't gotten shipments.
And they don't. Yeah.
I thought Chipotle had like a new formula. Okay. I was like, am I missing something?
I don't know. Maybe maybe we can work with them on that so they don't run out of this stuff.
Yeah. Chipotle.
So Josh doesn't run out of guacamole at Chipotle anymore.
Or any other Mexican restaurant, let us know.
Man, if we get on this food tangent, we're never going to finish this stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's see. This is the first time I've watched Martin build an app in a long time. So I was glued to the screen for this one. Did I hit it?
Yeah, you muted it.
Let's hear his thought process.
Very rich visualizations that have proven themselves in the Vizlib world that we know and we are building, and that you can easily add into the canvas. You can drag and you can position it anywhere you want. Free floating, pixel perfect positioning. You can actually, it behaves like PowerPoint, but with data. Now, if you go on the right-hand side, you'll see the dimensions and the fields that are exposed from the data view I've just added to my mix. So you can quickly choose one of them, go to sales, which is my measure, and here's where the magic happens. From data in Snowflake to meaningful analysis in a dashboard in less than a minute, in real time reported from Snowflake. That is unique with Astrato that nobody else does, because we do not load data, we play the data where it is.
Can we talk
Continuing my
about that for just
journey,
a second, Joe?
add
Yeah,
more
yeah.
charts. So
The idea and concept by this whole, we connected to a data source, we started into a dashboard, and then he started building, and that took what, a minute? And we're dealing with a potentially very large data set.
Yeah, if this is the city bikes data set, that's what he picked, right? That's like the 8 billion rows, I think is, I don't remember the exact thing, but that's massive. I mean,
I didn't see a single thing of code there. I didn't see any major selection of measure just yet, but to potentially have this turned on and going with no real installation, no big startup, no humongous investment or anything like that, and getting into these insights, I think that's pretty
no
powerful.
loading data. That whole step that we, when we're in every other Appy Hour, we've already loaded the data in all of those apps.
Because that's the worry is the spin. So
Yeah.
we're like, oh.
There's no spin. That's a really good point, Josh. Yeah. I wrote that the bar chart was a solid choice. What is, when you're building a dashboard for the first time, I'll ask everybody, what's the first thing you put on a dashboard?
Who are you asking first?
Jane. I'll just go down the line.
Table. Mostly because I like to just view my data, but I guess here you don't need to do that because you can view it when you're loading in your data. But yeah, table.
Nice. Josh?
I was going to say table as well, because you have to understand what you're looking at first and if the data is imported correctly. But for here, it depends on the use case, but bar charts is usually a good one, is to find an amount of something or a KPI. Get a number somewhere in there.
Wait, you just gave 3.
Well,
which one is it? Table?
I generally, I start with a table, yeah.
Okay. Cody?
Pie chart. No.
What?
Emily would kill me.
Where's
Emily, if
Emily
you're
at?
listening right now, I'm sorry.
She's in the background.
No, I would table as well. And almost, Josh, to your point, it's not only, okay, let me investigate the data. It's almost like, wait, did that load correctly? Like, is it coming up as I thought it would? So table for a couple reasons for me.
NCI's matching your, I think your train of thought there, Josh. Table, bar chart, KPI.
Yeah, you gotta have a number. You have to have a bar to see something. And if you're looking at the data, why not get a table to understand that you're pulling in the correct field?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Like, do you guys always look at the data preview before you start just to get a shape of the data? Or you just, it's connected, now let's build? So I feel like if that's, like you said, you put a table on first, I've already looked at a table of data. Then I get to the canvas and I'm like, I think mine is actually KPI. What is the biggest number that's important to this data set? Is it sales revenue? Is it the number of patients? How many t-shirts did we manufacture? And I want a big number. That's just like, that's the thing I'm calling out. But I've already looked at a table, so it's kind of cheating, you know?
Yeah, so I feel like some of our apps that we build, we do so much work on the back end of the data before we bring it in. There's Emily.
Yeah, that's a lie. We know.
Hashtag not. You do not like pie chart.
Change that. Pie chart hater. Wow.
Hashtag sarcasm.
I don't know. Is it cheating? Like, I feel like I'm always going to preview the data, or often I have like a preview of the data on another screen. So I'm like, ooh, I want to pull that in as something. Maybe we should do a session on that, like truly starting from scratch. What does your screen, your desk look like? What do you have on the
There you
screen?
go.
Yeah.
Be kind of interesting.
Like
Tune in next week.
We have a question
Maybe.
from Steven.
Oh, yeah. We're both pressing it at exactly the same time. You can do
You
it.
do it. No.
Okay, I did it.
Oh, no.
That's fine. So there's all these same capabilities. Are there all the same capabilities that I find in Click for the charts? Example bar graph. Yeah, actually, on the the data objects panel, we are filling that out with every type of variety of visualization you can imagine. Some we even, you notice it on the screen here too, they're grayed out. It means they're already in our development version. We're moving it forward to QA, and then they'll go to production or the general release version. So we thought about variations on like the line chart, like a ridgeline plot. Pie chart, as much as Emily loves pies, we also created donut charts and radial rows charts and things that might be a little bit obscure, but we know people like. So we put that in there. There's even, it's really small, but it's this one here. It's an exploded pie chart. I, for one, can't stand them. I think they're bad practice, but some people really need to show it on like a, I don't know, a corporate dashboard that goes out to the board of directors that wants to call out one big slice. So yeah. And the other thing you'll see, and Martin talked about it, everything is layered. So you could create visualizations that normally we do in the Kpi Designer in Click with Vizlib. So everything is like, you can lay it on top. If Emily really wanted to put little pie charts on top of the bars, she could do it. Who's going to stop her?
Or
It's like
pie
her-
charts on top of the pie charts.
It's like her worst nightmare.
Yep. She chose not to be here, so we're just going to
Talk about our love for pie charts.
That helps, Stephen. I don't know
literally create a rich dashboard.
if Martin
We have those
contacts
data
every or
previews here,
puts
so
everything
you
in
can see
here.
some
but
data while you design your dashboard. It's not empty until you add your data.
We're talking about pie.
So,
There it is.
in this case, I will add looking sales by product. So I may want to expand this by sales itself.
Yeah.
So step by step, you have the ability to add a dashboard with very little effort required and no SQL writing needed in a no-code, brilliant, user-friendly way. So the interesting thing here is I'm going to add like a line chart so we can also see sales, how they perform over time. And voila, here we go. I have a more interesting analytics dashboard view created. Now, that's static. And what makes BI powerful is the ability to filter, to interact, to drill down. So this is where we have controls, a filter object, and many more objects that we'll be adding that will
Like
make the
Alicia's
whole guided
idea there.
analytics experience much more powerful. Is where you can add, we select country here as well, into the mix. And now you generally have a dashboard that is interactive, that you can use for filtering, reducing.
That right there, I will say, and I'm just going to speak for everybody, which I like to do apparently. Filtering and every chart is connected is something we all take for granted because we come from a certain background that's green. It's not like that in any other BI tool. You usually have to connect charts. So to be able to filter and have everything update, it sent the queries to Snowflake. It's immediately pulled back all of the results. Is huge. Like usually as a BI developer, you have to tell each chart what to do. But this is, Emily's going to add this in at some point, I'm sure. It has nothing to do with pie charts. She likes to disconnect charts, which we've seen in other BI products, and say like, this one shouldn't be affected by the filter. And that's really hard to do where we come from, to say it that way. So we thought about those things and kind of bringing the best of lots of different worlds together. Anything on here? If you had to rate if Martin's dashboard right now on a scale of 0 to 25, 25 being the best, 0 being just, you would never use this. How would you rate it? We didn't give him much time to build one. So.
It depends. Is he Is he live with us right
Yeah,
now?
is he gonna watch?
I don't know. Unless he writes in, we don't know.
I would like to know what Martin would give himself for the creation of
Watching.
dashboard.
I don't see any notes coming in. He's left the building.
The one thing I do like, and I don't know if we either skipped over or it's not addressed, but when you pull a chart in, it gives you the preview of it, which I think is actually big, because it gives you a quick look of, hey, this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah, like that.
Right, with sample data. I know.
I skipped through it. This one here.
Yeah, in our current background, with either Tableau or Click, where we come from, a lot of times it's just you drag it in and it's just blank and say, okay, start building. Where here it gives you a preview. It's like, hey, this is what it's going to show up as. Kind of a self check before. Okay, yeah, that's what I want, and then you go and start adding your data in.
That reminds me. Does he talk about templates at all?
Yes.
Okay. I won't spoil it.
Yep. There we go. Let's do this one. So I think that
potential as well in the near future to another system or copy it. So that is the flexibility that we offer, including smart resizing, responsive, and so on.
I might have skipped too
far.
Yeah,
you skipped the group portion.
A dashboard that I was actually Martin,
right here.
But can I do everything I want to achieve? Well, it's up to you, really. So inspired from a Vizlib Kpi Designer in the Vizlib world, again, we're taking the best of both worlds and including them in both. You actually can choose different kind of icons. You can use shapes, and you can overlay objects over another to actually add more information into a chart. So if you're a creative designer or a developer, you can actually do more than just visualizing data. You can actually use icons and add a text and highlight some annotation here and say, this is an outlier, for example. And not only that, you can also add individual numbers that are then driven, that you can point anywhere you want on the screen. Again, you can reuse some of them that you have from before or more. So not only that, so you can overlay objects to create very, very smart KPIs. If you want to, you can also select them together. And when you select them together, you can also group them. So now this behaves like just one object that you can move around, that you can link, that you can embed as well in the near future to another system or copy it. So that is the flexibility that we offer, including smart resizing.
So I think he's close because the one step we've done this, right? We create a group of things, then you save it as a template. And then that visualization, those set of things, you can then throw anywhere else in other workbooks. It becomes part of your, as a designer, as a content developer, your templates. Yeah,
Cody,
it's just built in.
I mean, Cody's bracket app, how much faster do you think it would have been? How much faster do you think it would have been to build it in Astrato instead of creating? Okay. You're like,
no, so
is he crying? I'll just make him solo so we can see.
My MBA bracket app used the Kpi Designer. It was 88 different individual layers to create.
Could you imagine if they were like, move it a little to the left? You'd be like,
and then you'd have to move all 88 or 87 individual things afterward.
That's why you were like, I'm taking a day off. Somebody must have asked that. After you.
And then he's like, I can't.
It's almost as bad as we spending weeks back in the commercial space when we're not creating apps for business use cases for fun for happy hour. You spend months on a project, and at the end of the day, someone's like, "That's great. Can you put it in Excel?" That's almost as bad as that.
Yeah, that's done. I want to jump through. We're cruising through this, and we haven't even gotten to some of the more interesting ones.
Select this, and I can clear.
But I'm going to mute Martin for a minute. So visualizations, like stack together. This looks familiar to us because we're doing lots of Kpi Designer stuff. But we're going to have a Snowflake compute type of workbook, show your usage. I know that that's something, and our team is going to be working on those examples that kind of go with the product. No more. Actually, we'll probably still have like a library or a gallery of things, but we're going to build it into the product too. So everybody will just get the Snowflake app and just be standard. Then he gets into some other interesting ones. And this is stuff that, we've been able to build But we have many more people at Vizlib now building this stuff that don't have our background in dashboard design and best practices, but we're able to like create those templates and say, here, this is what the KPI should look like for you. This is how that grid should look. And he showed that layout one too. We're creating the layouts that people can use to quick start all of their dashboards. He picked that and immediately put all of these KPIs, the visualizations, and the line charts there. That's kind of fun. It's going to help a lot of people, I think, build stuff from scratch, which is always a challenge. We should, let's see, he cuts over to Alex at this point.
See if I can get this show on the road.
And Alex is probably a familiar face to a few out there. He definitely is.
That looks okay to everybody.
The founder of our
Martin.
Lindsay
Thank
Lohan.
Let's see if I can match your energy today. So, hi everybody. My name is Alexander Thor. I head up to the product management department here at Vizlib, which is building a.
So, question, Jane, you want to answer that one? Can we create our own? Yes. Yeah, that's an easy one. Of course. If you can group it, you can create a template for it, and then it's shared with the rest of your staff, your colleagues. This one on Alex. You want to talk about Alex, Jane?
Oh,
and how he was an inspiration, perhaps.
Yes, he got us on the Twitch chain. He's the reason we started twitching. I can see Josh's eyes twitching because I said that, because he had a meeting where he did it in a bathtub, and we were like, we should start twitching.
Were any of you on the meeting? I just heard about it after.
Right? We just heard
picture.
about it.
It was a very, it was not a risque photo, but after everybody kind of gave him crap for that one, he would say, you should know that taking a meeting that's over 20 minutes or 30 minutes is not great. You start to get really cold in the bathtub. The water is just sucks the energy out of you. He's like, and it's not like you're just going to get up and leave the bathtub. So it's like, it was rough. I think that stuff gets you banned now from Twitch, right? You can't be in a bathtub. Hot tub was okay at one point, but I don't even know now.
Yeah, I don't know the rules of twitching.
It can't be in the bathroom.
So yeah, Alex goes through a really fun segment on the why, has interesting imagery, and has a great history of Princess Di and her jean fashion. I don't know, but he gets into like all of the stuff that got us to this point now. It's definitely worth a little bit of the time there, but we're going to run out of time if we listen to the whole thing. So we need to give people the video link. Do any of you have that handy to throw into?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I guess I could just grab it. Is the share button around here? There it is. That's not that. That's like Windows share. You guys can't see that.
I posted it in the chat.
In our chat. I'm going to throw that. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'll throw it into the comments just so people have it. Because the whole thing's out on YouTube, so you can watch it with the hundreds of other people that did. Skipping forward. So, Jane, you got to watch that because Alex one is hilarious, the way he delivers the whole thing and talks about how did we get to the point, why did we decide to work with Snowflake? And then we get into more of the pictures of like what we're doing, where we're seeing things like the Pokemon app, for instance. Somebody had mentioned that, and these different things. So we're going to continue to build stuff here. And then what I wanted to do, actually, there's the 3 key themes. We talked about direct query. We talked about, we're bringing all of our design acumen and stuff. This last one, I don't think he actually showed anything around right back, right? Cody, Josh, you saw it. I was answering questions, so I don't know if I missed something, but that's big.
I think there was maybe a recorded example in this. I don't think it was a live one.
I've seen Martin share that before. Yeah. So immediate feedback. And because we're direct query, the data stored, it's immediately in the dashboard. There's no waiting for stuff to come back in and update everybody else. You're just taking action on the data. I think we can all come up with use cases because we work on write back a lot, where if it were just like, if it were that sensor data, if it was a retail Chipotle running out of avocados for the guacamole and a button, check a box, we're low on avocado, and it sends an alert to somebody. Or it updates the dashboard, hey, we're running low, and then everybody around them is seeing it. That stuff is fascinating to me, because then it's not just a dashboard, you're actually using it. Any
Absolutely.
others on there? Yeah.
No, I think that's one of the most popular conversations that I'm having is around a write back specifically, is just having that power inside your BI tool and closing that loop. That's power.
Yeah, we're gonna have some interesting use cases to work on there. Then I was surprised we showed our straight up roadmap of everything we're working on. Snowflake, of course, but I've seen questions come around. You're going to work with BigQuery. What about Databricks, Dremio, and these others? Of course, Jane Google Sheets is already there for quick prototyping stuff. So I know Martin did share that. But we have a lot of interest in Snowflake, and that's where everything's coming from right now. So I guess if others want a different big, cloud data warehouse, let us know what it is. We're working on that. This is to Steven's questions. This is just what we have right now at this moment. And I think this list is also out of date because I've seen some other visualizations, but working on these variations just of the bar chart alone. There's 7, 14, 18 different. Did I count that up right? Variations just on the bar chart alone. And I'm sure we're going to have more. So we showed some of that. He did show the visual connecting of things, although this is for workflows, but I've seen a version of the joins look like this. So we're looking at building a workflow action thing. So you click a button and then it goes and does something in the dashboard and then actually does other information or sends information somewhere, and all no code. Yeah, no code is huge. Programming REST APIs. Jane loves that, right?
Yeah, my favorite thing.
Yeah,
like
we're
pie
gonna be able to get away from that. Exactly. And then we get into this one. I want to sit on this for a minute and take a look at this, everybody, and maybe come up with, if you could, there's only so many hours in the day, and the team is working around the clock on this stuff. We're going to release some things, but what would you want like your top 3 to be? And we kind of asked this question during the session, I think, because I saw the questions come in around this. But as you all look at this, maybe we'll go reverse. Cody's on the bottom, right? Yeah. Cody, pick at least your top few.
Top few. All right. I'm going to go with forecasting, because that's always a fan favorite. What else we got on here? Workflows seem to be pretty tricky to do in other tools with a lot of heavy code in there, so that could be interesting. And I'll go with pivot table only because everyone always has a pivot table.
Yeah. Nice. Josh?
So absolutely right back. It's a powerful move, and just what it can do and bringing that into the space is long overdue. Forecasting, I think, is very powerful, and especially if we bring in our approach that we did for our line chart for the native Vizlib objects inside of ClickSense and doing no coding required forecasting with a click of a button, that's going to be awesome. And then I think I'm on the same page with Cody, as workflows are huge in many different organizations where they want to start having some of those structures. So I'm excited to see some of that as well.
Jane?
Yeah, I mean, I think Astrato covers all the like basic charts that I use 99% of the time. I guess I've been liking the sand key recently. So yeah, a sand key in the future would be great for that, 1% of the time when that sand key is like the perfect chart to use. And teamwork would be really good to be able to kind of just take a snapshot of all the filters, write a quick comment. That sounds like a really great feature that we could add.
On there, is it?
It's not on there. Oh, I thought we could make up our own.
Yeah, I don't see why not. This slide is brand new to all of us, I feel like. So, no, we can keep asking about that. I imagine like the workflow integration is going to allow us to talk to other tools as well. So we're heavy on Slack, and we're going to be using Astrato like we do Click and Vizlib. That I imagine will want it connected to something else as well. It's probably in there, and we're just not on the screen. Mine, I don't know. Demo assets is the short-term one, and I always love this stuff. So seeing what like Pierce has been building, I get a little jealous because he gets more time to work on it. He built that. Well, we're gonna have more Astrato sessions, I think, so people know. But he did that. What's the Pitman one? What game is that?
Fallout.
Yeah, like a video game-esque dashboard that I'm like, oh, you know how long that would take me to build right now? And he's like, oh, I built it in like 20 minutes.
Joe, your Batman app was awesome. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but that Batman app, we have to show that. That was so cool and creative.
That one I can thank Telltale Games. I think they make that one. They have a really cool art style. So mostly it was just a background, but thank you. I just put like bar charts on top of stuff. It didn't make any sense, but it was actually legitimately so fast to do. And Graham had asked, who's usually on, but he's not on today for some reason. It's too late. Is this ready to go? And I was like, dude, I'm done. Like, you can have it. It's already recorded. He's like, oh, I thought you had like another couple days to go. It's ready. And that usually doesn't happen with Graham.
It's just that quick.
Some crazy stuff. And then my other two, I guess. Yeah, right back is huge. It's just I spend so much time on it today that anything we do around that will be good. The one that came up in the comments a lot was actually this Astrato in the Click extension of let's bring this stuff back into Click as the real-time connection to Snowflake as a window into that world. Ooh. It kind of bridges the gap. I don't see why not. It doesn't seem like it would be that challenging. Will Click allow it? I don't know.
I like the one I just saw on here was the data driver alerting.
Data-driven alerting. Data driver alerting.
It says data driver alerting.
Data driver should be maybe data driver. Because we're all living in this on-demand type of world where we get notifications for everything. So I feel like that's huge.
I don't know if I can scroll in, but can anybody see Martin's face? No, I can't. He's like
aggressively
you
yelling.
Might have to. I can't zoom in here, but he was excited for this one. So I think it was his best delivery to date. And I know that I told Cody, I had seen the dry run. They actually didn't do a dry run. He wasn't, they were like, nah, we're just going to do it live. And so there was I think everything was like from scratch the first time for this whole thing. So it was really fun. I hope people watch it because we show the roadmap. We talk about these timelines, when it's going to be available. But Josh, do you want to talk through this? Like, how can people get started right now? And How are you going to help them?
Yeah, so my role immediately is the lead customer engagement manager for all things Astrato. So absolutely reach out. You can go to the website, astrato.io, click the Get Early Access button, alerts me specifically, and I'll reach out to you. You can email the hello@astrato.io. That gets out to our marketing team, and we can have a conversation. But we're open to testers and getting into an early access stage. So absolutely go click that button on our website, and I'll get in touch with you. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Maybe we can post my email somewhere, and then you can reach out to me directly if you have any questions. But yes, please sign up. We want your feedback. Do it today.
Perfect. There we go. I'm trying to find this last one. There's a whole section in the video, and we chopped it up with chapters on YouTube so people can get to. Now you're going to get a ton of spam email.
That's okay.
So, you know, we shared it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, which luckily Twitch already lost all their data and is coming back. We're going to get banned. But we'll share it there too. And then Astrato.io. So I'm excited. I know we can get people in. They can start playing around with it. You don't have to have Snowflake either. Jane kind of mentioned
Google
this.
Sheets?
You can use Google Sheets, or we can get you started with the trial of Snowflake. They're really generous with those as well. So excited to see people's feedback on this stuff and get your ideas for where we can take it. Awesome. Good idea, Jane. This is totally your we got to do a reaction to the Astrato launch, and I was on the fence about it, but now it was good to debrief on this stuff.
Yeah, and it's good that I was able to watch it.
Right.
It gave me time to watch this.
Yeah, now you can sit down and go back, and it can make sense too. Awesome. Well, whatever you have left.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks for a happy hour.
Yeah, cheers.
Great job. We have one next week. We mentioned it with Emily. And that's a whole series, right?
Mm-hmm. We're doing a data literacy campaign. So we're having I think it's called Let Your Data Do the Talking. And yeah, Emily's coming on. You won't see any pie charts. I'll try to sneak one in there if I can.
Just in the corner.
Yeah, little pie chart in the corner. But yeah, it's great if you want to learn more about making dashboards. If you want to, learn tips and tricks, or if you know about dashboarding, and you want to teach us things. Yeah, please come on, comment. We love to learn and share.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Enjoy
everyone.
the rest, Jane.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.